Alrighty. One of the most anticipated and dominating decks of the BT10 format is finally here. It is the big, dark, scary, evil Blackwargreymon deck profile for BT10 with all sorts of tamer hate. If you love hating on them children, this will get you all wet. I'll tell you right now. All wet. It's going to be fucking wild. The only issue with this deck was beating certain other decks that do not have tamers, but we fixed that problem. And this deck can beat any deck in the BT10 format. You could also play it right now while on BT9 if you really wanted to. Alright, if you guys like this content, which obviously you should, because this is a Dark Mario production and there's nothing not to like here, you better like that video or I'm coming after you. You better comment and tell me what you think about this fucking deck profile and subscribe and smash those fucking potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos do come out. So, by the way, as this is a Dark Mario deck profile, if you guys are doing anything besides this deck, you're probably incorrect, and you should seek mental help. Or maybe stop playing the game altogether. These are the only decks we play now. The 4 Koromon, the plus 1000, while you are a Greymon or an Agumon. The plus 1000 matters for an interaction we'll talk about a little bit later. So that's our only egg. We don't need the draw power egg. The deck kind of just works itself out and has consistency pieces. Such as 4 on play Agumon red, get a Greymon and Omnimon from the top of your deck. Sounds pretty good. Then we have to play 4 copies of Black Agumon. Black Agumon, chat. The black one. The Black Agumon that on play searches top 4 gets you a Dragon Kid and a Greymon card. We're playing 8 on-play searchers for our ability to on-play them if we need to on-play them. And we're also following this up with 4 Agumon x-antibody to evolve and then add a Greymon on card on our Agumons to give us more consistency in our deck. It's very important. We can either evolve these rookies in the back, and that's fine if we can build a stack in the back. But if you don't have a stack in the back, the correct play sometimes is to just hard drop these Agumons and go off. It is just how it is, so that's okay. We play 12 rookies. We don't need any other Agumons in the deck. Any other Agumon slows you down, and we don't want to be slow. This deck is already pretty slow. It is a control deck at its core. Speaking of core, 4 Black Greymon, the one that gives you inheritable blocker. Well, there's a red Digimon in play, which there will be a red Digimon in play, more than likely. And we're following it up with 4 Greymon x-antibody for the protection from card effects and stuff and destruction. There are a lot of Japanese versions of this deck that don't play this card. I don't quite understand why. And when I was testing the deck originally with no copies of this card, I could feel it. It just gets blown the fuck up all the time. And I don't like that. I don't like getting blown the fuck up all the time. So having 4 copies of Greymon X antibody does help with that. And it does protect you from stupid, ignorant bullshit. So, play 4 copies of it. And then, to follow it up, we play 2 promo Deltamon. The Deltamon that makes your black-red Digivolution cost 2 less, making it very, very cheap to evolve into one of your powerful ultimates. It also has the inheritable when attacking pop of 3,000 or less for each of its colors. Like, that's cool against wide boards. Comes up sometimes. Not super necessary, though. So that's it for the champions. We are only playing 10 champions, and these are the only champions you need. Alternate decks, we'll play like Deltamon instead, or not Deltamon, the black-red BT8 card instead, but I don't think that's necessary. I think the Greymon X is more important. Okay, Ultimates. We're still on 4 copies of BT8 dual color Metal Greymon, the one that D-Dodge evolves with pops of 3,000 or less. And the most important part of the card is the Judgment of the Blade inheritable while you are a Blackwargreymon. It doesn't work once you're an Omnimon, but it does come up and does help you, again, with an interaction we'll talk about a little bit later. And it's black and red, which is incredibly important for your Deltamon. And speaking of cards that are important for your Deltamon, 4 copies of Megadramon. Megadramon. This BT9 uncommon. When Digivolving, pop a Tamer 3000 or less. Inheritable when attacking. As long as you're not an Omnimon, pop a Tamer 3 cost or less. Okay, so as you guys know, there are some very annoying Tamer cards in BT10, like Mikey. And you want to be able to kill the children. We'll go into a combo in a quick second, but Megadramon helps you do that. And that's all for this. So we play 4 copies of it, and these are our 8 ultimates. We don't need any other ultimates in the deck. Megas. You need 4 copies of this card. I think it's mandatory. The skeleton depends on it. So we need to be able to pop Tamers 6 cost or less, which you always will be able to do. And if you're not playing against a Tamer-based deck, then pop their Digimon. It's fine. But you need 4 Blackwargreymons for the cross-heart matchups and related matchups. You absolutely need 4 of it. There's absolutely no other way around it. You need it. You need it. You need it. The old turns once per turn. Restat if you delete the Digimon is nice. It does come up. It's cool. So yeah, the whole combo here, right, is that Megadramon. If you have this stack and you can attack, you pop 2 Tamers with this, 3 cost or less. You pop a 3rd Tamer, 3 cost or less. So you're getting so much children hate, which we like doing. We do like hating on the children in this format. Super mandatory. We played 2 copies of Guymon. Not as good in BT10 as it is BT9, because Blackwargreymon it's more important to have that than the Guymon. But the security reboot and the Digivolve and the... you know what? You know what this card has. You know what this card has. You know, chat. You know what this card has. Put it in the chat if you know what Guymon has. Anyway, the Guymon is 13k. Which is actually an important magic number, which we'll get to shortly. So I do like having my 2 copies of Guymon still, and I wouldn't play any less than it. Moving on to level 7 Digimon now. We are playing 2 copies of Omnimon Zwart Defeat. This will allow us to give even more Tamer hate to decks. There's also a very neat interaction where when it dies, it deletes Digimon, which is actually super cool if you think about it against Death Xmon, because we're also playing 2 copies of Omnimon X-antibody. Not the new one from BT10. No. That card is shit. But this card fixes all your other matchups that aren't necessarily cross-heart, because it negates attacks by attaching 2 sources. That's very, very important. And then when attacking, you just delete Digimon. And you can evolve on top of your Zwart Defeat for 3. Which is stupid, to be honest. So I was not playing this card originally, which is why I was having a very hard time winning against decks that were not cross-heart. This card actually fixes it, unironically. It makes it so you have better chances in your other matchups. You don't always need it, but it is a very, very nice card, for sure. Blue Flare could be a little bit rough, but besides Blue Flare, it's not really a big deal. Our last Digimon in the deck, actually, is 1 copy of Death Xmon, because sometimes it just will be free. Let's be real here. If you're playing against a hybrid deck, or cross-heart, or security control, it could just be free sometimes. Imagine hard playing a Death Xmon because they have so many Tamers on the field, and then popping their Tamers on the field. That seems really fucking absurd. And it wins so many games. Just the 1 copy of it. If it doesn't come up, it doesn't come up. It's all good in the hood. But the 1 copy of Death Xmon has actually come up a lot. So that's kind of cool. Alright, that's it for the Digimon. Moving right along. Actually, just real quick. Before I talk about the rest of the deck, I just want to reiterate again that if you're not playing this exact 54 card list, there is something wrong with you. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're underdeveloped. Maybe you're blind. Maybe you're on too many drugs. And that's okay. You know what? As long as you can admit it, it is fine. But this is the way. No other list has worked. This list works fine. We're playing 4 copy of Cool Boy. The only matchup it's really bad against is the mirror match. But against every other deck, it's just free advantage. Gets you your x-antibody Digimon, and it gives you memory for doing it. So that's kind of fine. We play 4 copies of it because you want to resolve your Cool Boys as much as possible. Now, for the memory tamer of choice, this is a very carefully constructed decision, because I know it goes against the grain of what many Japanese deck lists do, but I think in BT10 with a best of 3 format, you need 2 copies of Hero. I think you need it. I'll tell you why. Because it gives you plus 2000 DP. So, when you have a Guymon with a Metal Greymon inheritable, and you have Koromon, and you have Hero, you fucking kill Death Xmon. That's very important. Because otherwise, you have no interaction with Death Xmon. It's not BT11. We don't have like Hades Force yet or something stupid like that. We're also not playing any copies of Gaia Force. So being able to just say goodbye to Death Xmon is incredibly important. It also kills Mama D. So it makes your deeper matchup free, which is why we're playing the Koromon eggs and why we're playing the heroes. Because 16k is a good magic number this format to have. And that's all I got to really say about that. So we do play 2 copies of Hero for that. No other memory tamer is necessary, in my opinion, because of that. And that's fine. And we do play 1 copy of Nokia. We're still on Nokia is Bay. The reason we're doing Nokia and not the black chick, she's not a black chick, but the black tamer that reduces your dual color Digivolutions, is because we are playing Omnimon cards, and you cannot use the black tamer chick as a reduced source, so that memory could come up, which is why I'm doing Nokia. It also triggers your Agumons, because we do play 8 on-play Agumons. Very important. To top off the deck profile, 2 copies of Red Memory Boost, just for a little bit of extra consistency, and sometimes memory is necessary, especially if you don't have a memory tamer. You will need that memory tamer in order to do the play, where you want to do Megadramon into Blackwargreymon into killing a bunch of tamers. It matters against those decks with all those tamers. That is it for the deck profile. Blackwargreymon is incredibly strong in the BT10.